Hello and welcome everyone. Before I can begin part 2 of the backstory of Five Nights at Freddy's, I highly advise you to watch part 1 because everything I will say in the next few minutes will not be understood unless you have seen the previous video. Again, the viewer must note two very important lessons for this video, but instead of historical facts, they will be biological lessons. This part heavily focuses on the procedure required to implant the unique gene and the creation of the animatronics we know today in game. This one will be extremely complex, guys, so I advise you to focus on what I am saying and repeat it if necessary. The first lesson is that the human body possesses a natural system of defense called the immune system to scope out any pathogen found in the body and destroy it by sending out cells called T cells. The second lesson is the definition of pathogens. Pathogens are a microorganism that can cause a disease or any foreign material that has entered the body. So now I can begin the story. Renovations had been made to soundproof the building as well as to isolate itself from the city of Philadelphia. People assumed the place to be a storage room for the state. A fence with barbed wire surrounded the whole perimeter of the building, and a large "Keep Out" sign was positioned on the main entrance. All of the science equipment was brought in through a private organization funding this project from Germany. Before the experiments began, Abel used the second exoskeleton disguised as a large yellow duck/chicken with an orange beak to lure the children, but had made covert changes to its programming. Abel continued to despise the people who believed in Judaism because he believed they were the cause of Germany's economic issues at the time and loss in World War I. This gave Abel a motive for the changes in the exoskeleton. The specific changes made on the exoskeleton was to clearly distinguish which child was Jewish. Also, it retaliated if they were threatened by a person verbally or physically. With the remaining children in the building, John and Abel had found an ultimate opportunity to have this ambitious experiment converted into reality. The unique gene isolated from the twins was injected into the DNA structure of the remaining children to discern its chemical reaction on a human being without the gene naturally developed. In the night, sounds of agonizing pain were slightly heard underground, yet no one noticed and easily dismissed it. The procedure required an efficient implant of the gene and was extremely life-threatening. To ensure absolute success and avoid prevention of the human body's natural defenses to destroy the gene, Abel decided to concentrate the implantation on the central nervous system. He did this because the central nervous system has a higher success rate to be infected, quote-unquote, by a pathogen, which in this case would be the gene. Abel needed the extracted gene from the twins to cause a neurological reaction in the remaining children that would allow their bodies to naturally replicate the implanted gene. To Abel and John's dismay, the implantation failed to achieve immortality, but this led to another sinister, more ominous discovery. The gene did accomplish its original assignment of rapid multiplication of cells and cell repair, but it was faster than the children's body could withstand, and they would die shortly after. But surprisingly, the newly grown cells had created organic matter that had an incredible chemical reaction when certain types of elements were exposed to it. All of these specific elements were metals: tin, nickel, copper, silver, titanium, aluminum, zinc, mercury, and lithium were the main components utilized to construct the animatronics. All of these components were metal elements. The chemical reaction seemed fictitious, as if it derived from a horror story. Somehow, the organic matter was attracted to the elements previously mentioned and molded itself into whatever form the metals possessed. In this case, the organic matter was attracted to the rabbit animatronic and duck/chicken animatronic. This caused the organic matter to amalgamate with the metallic substances found inside the animatronics. This led to an unexpected result. The programming issued by both Abel and John had been altered by this fusion, and now the animatronics began to act almost human-like. Human will had dominated over circuitry for a split second. Two children had gained control over the two animatronics. Unfortunately, Abel and John were able to subdue the animatronics through the use of an electromagnetic pulse created before the animatronics as a precaution if they ever went erratic in the laboratory. These scientists were not fools. They had preventive methods for nearly any scenario that may occur, ranging from attempted escapes by the children to out-of-control animatronics if the circuitry ever went wrong. But they never imagined that it would be necessary to use them, especially in this otherworldly event. Who could imagine that organic flesh, still alive, could enter metal and take control of it? Alright guys, thanks for watching part 2. Please leave a comment if there's any confusion, because this episode was very complex and will leave a lot of people perplexed. If you need help understanding anything, just leave a comment and I'll answer it. And I'll be uploading part 3 soon. As soon as I have time for it, because school is starting to get busy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this series, because I am enjoying uploading these types of videos, and I will see you guys in part 3.